start off in our first draft here. Shen, the first ban from Immortals, and there's Camille open for Team Liquid. So some changes here for the new patch as Graves gets banned away, but some things never change.
Some things do never change as the Camille red side ban does come in. A lot of teams have been letting it go completely through draft though, so we're seeing more of a mix-up. And to me, Varus, especially on 7.4, is something that should always be banned by the red side. A lot of the other OPs have gotten nerfs. We saw Corki get nerfed, Jhin got nerfed, Maokai got nerfed, Ryze got nerfed. So there's all these nerfs along a lot of the people that would have been first pick. Varus wasn't touched, so to me, he's the best champion right now, and you should not allow Immortals to first pick him.
And you know, some of his friends got changed. Edge of Night had a few changes here and there, but still Varus is very effective, and I think Graves kind of joins that pile as well, as he's the second ban from Immortals. We'll see what Liquid have here for their third ban, though.
We've actually been seeing a lot of Rengar going as that first pick because people red side aren't feeling like it's so important that they must ban it away, but a lot of the blue side teams also don't feel like it's low enough priority that they can give it over for a second round rotation. So things are in flux, certainly, in this patch, especially with some of those changes, you know, with things like Shen rising in priority because of the nerfs on some of the other top laners. So now we're going to get to see what these teams think it should be.
And this is a smart ban from Liquid, taking away Rengar, as actually the Immortals missed a ban. That was what I missed out on. So first pick LeBlanc there for Immortals.
I'm pretty sure that was actually an intentional misban. So what they're trying to do is force them into this trade that Liquid did not want to give over. I guess they were not really willing to give Rengar over to Dardoch, probably because Piglet might not play LeBlanc, right? So this is a champion that does have a pretty high skill cap. You have to think Piglet coming in as a new mid laner might not be comfortable to do that. And then Immortals could have taken Rengar and gotten theoretically LeBlanc the next round after that, which is kind of something you just can't do.
No, well there's Kha'Zix and Malzahar for Team Liquid, so a good solid start there for the support and jungle. This isn't the first time we've seen Immortals both intentionally and unintentionally miss a ban. Hermes does have some more unique strategies, so we'll get confirmation on that, but Immortals just going to take Ashe, who is certainly rising up with Varus being banned. I mean, Jhin, he's still good, but the pool of 80 carries is pretty small once you ban out Varus.
Yeah, Jhin is definitely very good. I would not be surprised to see Youngbin pick that up for himself, although we are seeing a lot more Ezreal, a lot more Caitlyn, things like this are working their ways back into the meta. Even specifically against Jhin, Sivir is very effective at shoving him in early, can scale up to late game, so we are seeing some more diversity there. The question I think on most people's mind is really, what does Piglet play? You know, what does his champion pool look like? I've heard whispers of some of the things that he's playing. You know, I don't want to really give anything away, but you cannot think that this guy is going to have a deep champion pool.
No, certainly not after only a week or two of practice, as Elise actually over for Dardoch was their jungle pick to round out phase 1. This would be bold. It is Ryze for Piglet, so has been practicing the meta mages.
Yeah, so he is going to be going in with that Ryze, and Ryze is something that matches up fairly well into the LeBlanc. Obviously, LeBlanc can have the ability to snowball against anyone, especially with an early ganking jungler like Elise. That CC combo pretty powerful. Something that a lot of Ryze players like to do is actually take Courage of the Colossus. You can use that for the CC as long as your passive CC is up or shield is up as well. You can absorb a lot of the damage coming in.
Yeah, have to make sure that you don't take too much, as Renekton actually banned from Team Liquid. So this is another thing we're starting to see as Jin's banned out for Immortals. I like that target ban as well, but Renekton is rising pretty quickly in popularity for a lot of top laners.
He really is. I mean, the guy has been a lane bully for so long, and as more and more of the S tiers kind of get knocked down a peg, he becomes stronger just by comparison.
We'll see what Team Liquid have here with 10 seconds left for their final ban in this draft. Have to think maybe they continue to target top lane, actually target ban Olay, so taking away Morgana, a support that he has shown multiple times that he loves to play, so I'd like that ban as well. And Immortals might continue the trend of taking out 80 carries because Liquid feeling like they had to give Piglet a mid lane pick in phase 1, which I think makes sense. Youngbin, the new guy as well, is going to lose a couple picks here.
Yeah. And I do think that Morgana makes a lot of sense, both as a target ban towards Olay, because he's performed well on it, but also because you already have multiple forms of targeted CC drafted for TL, right? You can put that Black Shield on your LeBlanc, he goes in, safe from the Ryze, safe from the Malzahar ultimate, at least for a short time, and that's not the option now. And I would think that Olay would go towards something like the Thresh that he's shown a propensity to play. He likes playing those playmakers and those pick champions.
We can see Liquid take Ezreal here because it was a Sivir ban there for Immortals, so couldn't take all of them, but at least kind of narrow the pool, and this was the obvious pick for Youngbin, so Immortals could prepare for this. Seems like they've already got a relatively good comp built up, but we'll see how they finish their draft. Looks like Liquid want to last pick their top laner. So we're going to have something blind here for Flame. He's definitely leaned more towards the bruises and the carries and less so the pure tanks, but he's definitely flexible as there's MF actually support there for LA.
Yeah, I mean, you could still go into a tank. Like, we all obviously have Maokai, Nautilus, things available, but there's still Rumble, there's Jace open, there's those sorts of options here too. I think it is more risky to go for a carry style top laner when your opponent has counter pick, and so will be the tank. But for Youngbin, getting a safe AD carry, remember this is his first ever LCS game. This is something that makes a lot of sense, I think, for the team comp, but also just as an individual player, you're not in as much pressure, right? You have a safer AD carry, you have some time to kind of scale up, sit back in lane, and hopefully get comfortable.
Well, there's Poppy, last pick for Liquid, so things kind of shaking out pretty standard here. Tanks in the top lane. Pretty strong meta mages where they do very different things between LeBlanc and Ryze, and that's really what we'll be paying a lot of early attention to. First pick LeBlanc. She's a champion that did have some changes, but a lot of players are still playing her. She's been around forever, despite a lot of changes in the update last year. And Pobelta, he's had a rough string of performances, but it feels like he and the rest of Immortals are starting to ramp up as well. Dardoch, he's been solid to amazing in most of their games. Now it's time for someone like Pobelta to also step up and help Immortals propel forward into the back half of the season.
Yeah, exactly. They are on that upward trend, and I think it's important that other players on Immortals are stepping up so Dardoch does not overreach, because that has been my criticism of him this year. He has had some amazing, outstanding performances, but he also has the performances where you can just tell he's trying too hard to carry and throws away the game.
Yep, he can't afford that there. Rainover on Kha'Zix. We'll see how he does, as he's had a bit of a shaky looking start to the season, but has also improved. Coaches are going to shake hands for our first draft of the NLCS in patch 7.4. Nothing too unexpected. Piglet, again, clearly has some champions practice. We expected maybe top 3, top 4 mid laners to be there for him, maybe a pocket pick there as well. But I mean, his experience will definitely show in this 1v1. This is a tough matchup to play. It's your first ever game in mid lane.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit like a lose-lose for Pobelter, because if he wins, he's supposed to win. If he loses, he just lost to an AD playing mid. So it's kind of a rough spot for Pobelter. We'll see how he does, though, because I think this is a tough team to play LeBlanc into. You have Poppy with that steadfast presence, can block your distortions. You have Malzahar, who can ult you when you go in. You have the lockdown from Piglet as well, lock you down when you go in. So there's so many forms of CC and ways to kind of disrupt and lock down Pobelter in the teamfight stage that I feel like he must get ahead early.
Well, we've got a lot to look forward to as the NLCS is back here for spring in 2017. We're out onto the rift for Immortals versus Team Liquid, as they'll have a rematch here with an awful lot of changes for TL. Piglet on Ryze. Welcome. Welcome to the New World Order.
Welcome to the new age. We'll see if it's a good one or a bad one for TL fans. So everything looking pretty standard, I would say, across the board. One thing that I always find a little bit interesting, though it's not that impactful, is the choice of mid laners to start either 3-pot or refillable. Refillable is kind of that greedier choice. If you think you can get away with it, then you can get through that. But having the triple biscuit start does give you a little bit more leeway in lane to have a lot more extra healing. And if some of the trades are going a bit more poorly, you're not going to be as punished for that.
Looks like Cody Sutton booked it after eating, I assume, a Mystic Shot. He lost about 50 health and decided that that wasn't good enough. He's going to run himself back to the lane. Other than that, nothing crazy being set up. No deep wards here for either side. And Piglet's already in it, though. Should certainly have the auto attacks down as a former AD carry main. And Pobelta's going to eat a little bit of damage on the early trade.
You can also see the difference in masteries in the bot lane between the AD carries. So health potions there for the Ashe. A lot more players are going actually 18-0-12 as opposed to 18-12 that the Ezreal is going to be doing. So that is something that is changing up. And we have to remember that Fervor has been buffed a fair bit, and Warlords has also been nerfed, right? So Fervor champions like Ezreal are going to get some added benefit from it.
Well, Rainover with a huge leash. Mostly thanks to the Voidlings there of Matt, so he'll be flying pretty quickly through this jungle. Dardoch shouldn't be too far behind as Pobelta and Piglet square off once again. E leveled up already there as Pobelta dives in for a bit of harassment. And Youngbin and Cody Sun will face off here for Youngbin's first ever LCS game.
And this is a lot of pressure on Youngbin. So many people are going to be forming their opinions on this guy based off this one game. And I mean, he is going up against one of the weaker bot lanes in North America. So at least he's having a bit of a chance to kind of get eased into it. You know, this is not him going up against Arrow and Adrian or Stixay and Afromu or even Smoothie and Sneaky, some of those really powerful enemy bot lanes.
Dardoch actually trying to steal away a buff here is actually all the way to Rainover's red buff side. He does have smite, so he should be able to take this. It's just a question of Does Rainover know? It looks like he is moving down towards Immortals' red side.
Yeah, he was actually on a ward there, I do believe. So Rainover is going to probably head down to the red and try to steal that away. The question becomes, how does Dardoch actually react to this? Does he run straight to his red and try to defend that? Or does he look for a gank? And it looks like he's actually pathing straight from red to red to try to catch Rainover out here. And we'll see if he's able to get this and get out.
We're can get there as well, but Cody's in trouble. Exhaust is down. Youngbin looking for his first kill of the LCS. He was going to be used. Olay was out warding, forcing the flash as well.
This was actually Olay trying to make the collapse on the red buff, right? So he leaves to try to help out his jungler at the red buff. That gets his AD carry heavily punished, and he's low on health too.
Good chain though. Piglet though turning it around instantly. Proc there from the chain's going to snare Piglet down, but Pobelter had to also leave to protect Dardoch, and I don't know who ended up with that buff, but Rainover is going to come mid now instead. Pobelter forced to back away. Rainover is going to get a summoner.
He does get that summoner, and actually no one got the red buff. So, you know, Rainover had to back out, but it hasn't even been secured yet by Dardoch. Either way, it's definitely a very good exchange for TL because they force out bot lane summoners, now they force out the mid lane summoner, and Dardoch does end up with the eventual 3 buff.
Well, you can see TL went nice and aggressive there in the bottom lane. Cody's son, though, able to drink his potion, should be safe. 3 buff now completed for Dardoch as he does take the red buff down, and looks like Ashe is continuing to push in the lane, so no harm done just yet. As you can see, mid lane CS looking pretty good for Piglet's side. I mean, Pobelter did get chunked there early and felt like he had to leave, but Piglet being 10 CS up already with a tier finish now, looks pretty good.
Certainly does. Things looking good for them there, and you know, it is just early, maybe able to make that gap up as Pobelter, but certainly losing the early flash is more impactful to a champion like LeBlanc who wants to be aggressive and looking for those kills. You have so much kill pressure with your chains and that ignite that when you can't utilize that at all because you're down a summoner, it's a pretty tough situation.
Piglet's going to rejoin mid lane and start charging up his mana. Does have an extra Sapphire Crystal as well, so not a bad first buy. Pobelter actually went for a second Doran, so I think aware of the attention that Rainover might be wanting to pay him here. Other than that, junglers have been relatively quiet, apart from that invade, so Dardoch does have decent lead, actually upper level currently in the jungle.
Yeah, and that is because of Dardoch's jungle path thing, and you know, the question becomes, can TL actually capitalize on the fact that summoners are down in the bot lane and mid lane? If you can't do that, then even though you got those for that red buff, it's not worth it, right? So Rainover now, his job is to actually punish their opponents for being down those summoners, and he is down around this bot side. Obviously, this is not a level 6 Malzahar, so the gank assist is not as powerful, but it is a summonerless Ashe who's quite vulnerable.
See if he can make a play here, but neither AD carry wants to back off. Rainover over the top with the blast cone, though. Gonna look to set it up.
Coming.
Good silence there. Damages through. Exhaust is great, but there's a good stun. First one though over as that's a tray killing for Dardoch. Rainover goes down and Dardoch's chasing Youngbin as he's gonna go down as well. Now Matt forced to run through the slow field, wants to try and make the flash and does get over the wall. Red buff tags him. Dardoch flashes. Gonna look to keep chasing it down. Great cocoon from Dardoch, and that's gonna be yet another kill.
3-0 for Dardoch. What a start. He read Rainover like a book. He knew that Rainover had to go bot lane to make that work. And he is there for the counter gank. Comes up huge.
Bending Wave gonna betray him there. Dardoch almost zipped over to try and get yet another kill, but Piglet holds onto his health for now. You can see those early Moby boots paying off huge for Dardoch as he rushes straight towards bottom lane and outplays for 3 quick kills.
This is the Dardoch special. He went for it last week, and now he sees Rainover. He's there.
Good stun again. The ward's not there in time. Now Rainover's going to get chunked by the Thunderlord. He's going to try and fight it out, but Pobelter up in here as well. That's going to force the leap.
Dardoch went for this build last week. Looked great. Was even talking about how much he loved it. He was everywhere, and you really can take over a game as this Moby Boots Elise. Such powerful early game and the ability to move around the map so quickly.
Now even looking towards top lane, but Lola's just going to back off. Matt, level 4, comes to visit mid lane. Pobelter's just going to back towards his turret and stay safe. Olay spots him with his Scryer's Bloom as Matt gets slowed down by the rain. And again, Cody's son still pushing in. But AD carries have gone back here, but that's BF Sword versus the tiers. We'll watch this one again.
And this was all about the counter gank for Dardoch. Good read. Yes, it is first blood to TL, but there's already the TP coming in earlier for Nautilus. Dardoch able to clean up a couple early kills. Both top laners can back out of that teleport. You know, nothing to benefit from Flame coming down, and Immortals already knew that Dardoch could clean this up. So really just smart pathing from Dardoch. He limited his opponent's options with the 3 buff, and then with the fact that the only where he could actually get something done is bot lane, and then he counters it. So just great stuff.
Looking great so far. Down in jungle CS, but certainly up in gold. with the kills that he's gotten. You can see Cody's son starting to shove in. Youngbin's getting chunked now of the poke between Ash and MF, and this is not really a fair fight as far as combat stats go. Ash is a pretty good laner anyway.
Yeah, it really is, and it's tough. It's tough for Youngbin. I mean, he's pretty far down now, and this is like the least combat stats you can almost have for this kind of gold. You know, he has the extra mana crystal going towards a Sheen, so it will eventually pay off, and he is kind of scaling up, but with the lead that Immortals have, you have to be careful about giving up that turret too early, because if you give that up early, Cody's son starts making the rotations, and things can get out of control.
Well, still looking good in the mid lane, at least for Piglet. Up still about 10 CS. He shoves the next wave in. Pobelta did go back. He has the Lost Chapter and a pair of boots, plus that refillable, so might be looking to make some plays in the side waves. Yeah. And again, he's got a strong jungler behind him, so should be able to go wherever he wants.
One of the things I would like to see when you're playing, you know, a Fervor 80 carry, going longsword to me is rougher because you have no form of lifesteal essentially, right? He's going up against a Warlord's Ashe, so Ashe can get away without building lifesteal more because of the mastery. Youngbin does not have that luxury, bought no potions, comes to lane without lifesteal. Of course he's going to get poked out. I mean, it's very, very tough to not get forced back to base in that situation.
Yeah, and learns his lesson this time, goes back, buys a few biscuits, and returns with a Ruby Crystal. So not looking too hot as far as the raw AD stats go. I'm gonna, maybe he's going Trinity Force?
I guess so. I guess he is gonna go Trinity Force, but this is such a mishmash of items. He's gonna be so weak for so long. It's hard to see them defending this turret unless Rainover can pull off a gank.
I mean, he's being cost efficient, which is good because he's buying components, but that should tell you how the lane is going, which is badly, given that he's kind of just doing whatever his gold says he can do.
Yeah.
And again, now level 6, this could be an easy gank attempt for Dardoch, who is more than happy to try a dive here.
Yeah,
in fact, that tower's almost dead.
They're probably going to go for the dive if Youngbin and Matt actually stay around. Otherwise, they just walk up, they just kill off the turret. Easy peasy. Great job from Immortals.
Yep, first turret goes over to them. So extra gold into the pockets of everyone, including Dardoch, who's still making his presence known around the map. Ocean Drake is up, but teams aren't going to collapse on it just quite yet. And Immortals can't find a clean pick. As meanwhile, we check in with top lane for the first time. Good hook there from Flame. Lolo blocks it with the W. And that's top lane.
Now check out a top lane. Come back in 15 minutes. But for Elise, that's one of the strengths of Elise. Elise can just walk into a lane with red buff and start autoing your turret. And that's actually, as hilarious as it seems, a pretty decent amount of pressure, right? You start pushing down those turrets. Now they've unlocked Cody's son and Olay to look for the rotations. They didn't expend their ultimates, so this is still Ashe with ultimate available with a high kill pressure mid laner. If Piglet gets caught, definitely going to be going down in a hurry.
I mean, really like the cleanse he's got there for kind of that exact reason, but we'll see what Immortals can make happen with the strength that they've got. Little clone there, going to get some vision down. As fake Pobelta will get a little bit of vision. Got on a long walk.
Cleanse is certainly necessary, but there's so much CC that it can all be overlapped, right? He's not even going to... Oh, wow. He's going to stop. Okay. I mean, they stopped Pobelta mid lane, so I don't think he needed to actually stop that recall.
Spooked, I suppose. He's just going to go recall again. Now Dardoch's going to make his way towards the dragon. And again, Immortals just have so much strength around this bottom and center of the map that this is a pretty easy dragon take for them. TL, not giving up too much here, but any Drake is a good Drake, and Immortals will take the first one here.
Especially to get this in the early stages of the game is when it's most effective. You know, Dardoch, he already had the Hunter's Potion, so he's not really struggling for health and mana, but he is never going to have issues whatsoever now. And Youngbin, I mean, the amount he's down is very problematic at this point. Yes, he kind of had some rough components and everything, but he has 58 CS 11.5 minutes into the game. This is not LCS level.
No, it's not. Good flash from Matt with the ultimate out there, but Pobelta's going to answer one to Youngbin. Ult's going to go wide there from the arrow, but Matt's going to go down to Cody's son anyway. Dardoch nails him with a cocoon.
Good play from Immortals, but it's starting to feel a little bit desperate from TL. They're rotating their bot lane up the top to try to continue matching, but Youngbin is so outmatched that it's very hard for him to really do anything wherever he is at this point in the game, and they're going to continue to get pushed in, continue to get bullied. Piglet, funny enough, is actually kind of the lone bright spot this game. You know, he is doing pretty well, and not that he is dominating by any means, but he's having a decent lane for himself. Yeah, starting to push in, level 9 on the rise, so building up. But Olay, I mean, face checks here, but Immortals with a great response. Yeah, there's just not enough damage really coming out of TL. Olay doesn't even end up going down. Ezreal has almost no damage to his name, and they didn't have a third damage source there to actually contribute. Held on to Sums as well. Pobelta with the next extra chain.
It's going to lock down Piglet for a little while longer. Burns the ulti, but it's a short cooldown, and I think Piglet might be looking for a back, so again, just buying more time. Flame in the bottom lane, 1v1ing the enemy jungler.
Oh, here comes Piglet.
Piglet in with the Realm Warp, there's one. Going to try and lock him down. Rainover's still low on Pobelting and pop over here as well. They're just going to lock down the Rise. Good flash from Piglet's going to get him out. And now Rainover trying to turn it back around. He flashes out, and here's Lawler, but Flame flashes
Dardock's
into the
here.
last auto. Lawler looks for something. He's now going to try and stun down him. Lawler, but there's another bit of damage from Pobelta. Dardock kiting it out. Good ulti there from Lawler. Going to knock one down and give Piglet the double kill. Dardock running back towards his support, and he'll be saved.
Yeah, they will be able to zone them off. Can't chase through the corridor with Olay there on the MF, and ended up being a pretty even trade. Good for TL in the long run, but it's now Immortals pushing here mid. Piglet is by himself without the flash. Cannot defend this turret.
The massive wave as well. Ezreal Ultimate's going to try and cut it down a bit, but Cannon Creep's going to be there for long enough. Good damage from Piglet. Gets the bounce onto Dardock, almost gets the shutdown. And that will force Immortals off the turret.
Yeah, so that Ezreal ult plus Rise is enough, and Flame getting pretty aggressive here. Does not have a lot of backup, and the TL members are closer. Nice rotation did come in from Piglet, so he's doing a pretty good job here. And this is a fight that they actually are able to win, mostly because Lorlo, their third member, is closer. He's faster to the fight. So, Flame and Pobelter are already very low before Dardock arrives. Had Dardock been here at the start, it'd be a bit of a different story, and that's a bit of an overreach, I would say, from Flame. There's no reason to go for a fight when you're down numbers, when you already have this kind of a lead, right? You just always want to take even or above number fights, and you're pretty much always going to win them with this sort of gold.
I mean, credit to Dardock. He booked it from the top side and almost made it with his mobility boots. You can kind of see the power there, but nice play from TL, knowing that they had the advantage, and Pobelta's trying to get the last few auto attacks on the turret. Doesn't quite have enough, but still 3,000 gold and counting for Immortals, a very solid early lead. And again, it's Dardock involved in every kill, has involved in almost every kill, 3 of the 5 and 4 out of 5 participations. So he's looking good, and the rest of the team is kind of doing their job, which is all they really need to do right now.
It is, but there is kind of that worry that TL's team fighting is very powerful. With the Poppy, the Rise, I think, is certainly a better team fighter than the LeBlanc, especially now that Piglet has picked up a couple kills for himself. And this is a very powerful team fight team. So if Immortals does not continue to push the pace and get something done with this LeBlanc, despite the gold lead, TL could end up with an edge.
Well, Immortals also working on the rest of the outer turrets, but Team Liquid doing a very good job defending them, so that's gold that Immortals feel like they should probably have already, with top and mid being so low. So the longer TL can hold out, the better it's going to be for them as they continue to pick up gold and equalize that farm. Right now, though, Piglet's just chilling. Blue buff battle here in the mid lane.
He's doing well. So far, so good. 15-minute report card. Check. He's looking good. I'm pretty impressed that he is matching up well against Pobelter, especially into a high kill pressure matchup. Yes, Rise does go pretty well against LeBlanc most of the time, but still, you would think that there would be a pretty significant advantage to Pobelter.
Oh, very nice cocoon. Rainover tries to get in there. Realm Warp's going to follow through. Dardock, I think, dead. There's the shutdown. Doesn't even need Piglet, but now Pobelter is going to get the counter kill. Lolo slams him into a wall, though, and Piglet going to get the easy lockdown.
Nice rotation from Lorlo, and Dardock takes that fight. He's actually pretty far ahead, even with the nice cocoon. Loses out to Kha'Zix with that isolation damage. Could not compete.
And this is what we've been talking about. Dardock, he's been playing so well, and pretty much every game, win or lose for Immortals, but still feeling like he needs to overreach, needs to carry just that little bit harder, and does cost his life there trying to make this play.
Yeah, and I mean, he does land the cocoon, but so much damage coming out from Rainover, cleanly wins that. Pobelter is able to make it an even trade, but Lorlo, again, fast on the rotation, comes in, picks up the double buffs, gets that kill, and this is a zoning ultimate from Cody, so they want to clean this up, but does not look like they'll be able to.
Yeah, arrow used there for Ashe as well, so it was an all-in attempt, but TL managed to dodge it. Looks like Matt had to burn the flash, and heal down for Youngmin as well. I mean, this is good pressure from Immortals, but again, they really need the turrets that they've been working on. It felt like they should have taken these within the last 5 minutes, and the fact that TL are holding on to them, I mean, it's gold that IMT expect to get, but you don't actually get the gold until you take the structure.
Yeah, and like we said, the longer the game stalls out, the less the gold lead means, and especially with a solid team fighting composition that TL has. But Immortals getting the advantages that they can. They're continuing to stack the dragons. You have map control. This should be a free objective for you, and Dardock is going to take full advantage.
Yep, it should be a Cloud Drake that no one else is here to even see go down. Dardock able to comfortably solo that one out. Pobelta going to clear out a control ward, and there's the turret that Immortals expected to get to take the outer turret there. And move themselves up a little further ahead in gold. Almost 4,000 gold up, and again, mid lane turret is a stiff breeze or two away from also falling. Team Liquid still on the back foot here.
Another thing worth mentioning is Cody Stun was super ahead as far as combat power, but he also bought a cull, right? So he had a pretty greedy buy there and is going to be cashing out into that. He already has a massive advantage as far as the gold lead in the AD carry role, and when that checks out, it's going to be even bigger.
Yep, does have the runes built up and moving in towards his second item, Essence Reaver Infinity Edge. We'll see what he does want to go for. That longsword seems to indicate Essence Reaver, but I'll let him make the decision. Pobelta now in top lane actually, so moving himself towards a side lane, and again, IMT just making the standard rotations, trying to knock down that mid turret that's got about 5% health left. Team Liquid doing a nice job holding on, and it does feel like Piglet keeping his lane pushed up, doing what he needs to do, and Rainova, despite the early mishaps, has been playing a bit more proactively and reacting nicely to Immortals' aggression. So TL's defense looking good so far, almost 20 minutes into this one. And like you keep saying, it will get better. Immortals, I would like to see them try and press the advantage a little more and do it together. Dardoch, he'll always make the play if he finds an opportunity, but his team needs to be there with him as well.
And I want to see Flame get a bit more involved. He should have the push advantage against this Poppy and should be the one who can shove his opponent and rotate around. And he's finally doing that, pushes in bot lane, moves towards the mid lane. You can use the Nautilus to zone people off the turret, to threaten that dive and help you finally finish it off. And they should be able to finally get it here, you would think. 5
ultimates at the ready. This should be straightforward for Immortals. Plenty of threats, gonna zone them out a little bit to make it rain. And
they're not that much so hesitant.
And there's just not that much wave clear for TL. I mean, with 3-4 people there, they do manage to get it done quickly. Lolo threatening the flank deters them, but Immortals playing quite scared here.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, yeah, there's a lot of wave clear, but it's like, that is 2 autos on a turret, right? You can have people step up. You had your 5-man squad there when your opponents had 3. Yes, the other 2 were making the collapse, but I think you can cleanly take that turret and back off. Using some of your ultimates if you must, but still, they want to play it very safe. They are worried about throwing at these turrets, and they're trying to play it as slow as possible.
Yeah, look at, they're actually hoping the pressure from Pobelta draws another member of Team Liquid up. It looks like Piglet's going to go answer, but this is decent damage that Pobelta will get done and should create enough space for Immortals to take their outer tower. Right now, though, they're translating through the jungle, trying to pick somebody off as Team Liquid try and collapse on Pobelta.
Yeah, Pobelta is well aware of what these guys are doing, though, has backed off, and now they're going to be creating that pressure on the bot side because Flame is pushing in there. Someone must respond, and Pobelta and Dardoch.
Yeah, Rainova going to get chased down. Pobelta leads himself forward, ignites down, should be enough for the kill, and now Piglet going to get himself stunned up. Perhaps Pobelta looks for the chain realm warp, so he's going to try and turn it onto Dardoch, gets himself out under the turret, though.
Does get out, but it is the pick. Cost some summoners, they get the kill. And now bot lane is crashing into that turret. TL's pushing up the mid. Immortals pushing up mid, pushing up top. They're starting to actually look pretty good here.
Yeah, it could be a nice double play, but Immortals don't want to overcommit for the top outer turret. Instead, Flame moves up. They take the easy mid lane outer turret as a result and continue pushing ahead in gold. 31,000 to 38. 7,000 gold up now for Immortals. And all of a sudden, that gold lead is starting to look problematic to catastrophic.
It feels like the floodgates have opened somewhat here for Immortals. Really nice map movement to actually force that. Finally starting to control their lanes, manipulate the waves so that they could have the right players in the right places and get those kills, get those turrets. We'll see what they can do next.
A major objective up right now, unless an early Baron is on the cards for Immortals, but you can see their items are starting to reflect the power that they should have given the gold lead. 2 items done now for Ashe, 2 items done now for Pobelta. Actually has a pretty quick Void Staff, and expected given the aggression of Dardoch. He's got 2.5 items, and he's going full carriers. This was the catch that started it all.
Yeah, exactly. And they're able to get this because they have moved more quickly than their opponents between mid lane, between top lane. They've gotten jungle vision. They've cleared out safe areas where they can look for those picks, but
oh no,
they're looking for the solo kill on Pobelta.
This could be a 1v1. Pobelta just going to double distort out of the way, and save face there on that play. Piglet, though, I mean, good CS, starting to play up and aggressive. He was complaining almost that he couldn't quite carry from bottom lane, now moving himself to mid lane as a result. And certainly looking proactive on the champion, if nothing else.
He is, but I got a secret for you. You can't carry from any lane if your team is doing poorly.
Also true.
It's just the way that the game works. It's a team game. Everyone at this level needs to be working well together, and that has been more the problem with TL than it is about any role in particular, in my opinion.
We'll see if they can look a little sharper. Ocean Drake up in a minute, though, and Immortals have had full control of that objective thus far in the game. Double buff Dardoch, level 13 as well, still up in experience over Rainova. And he will comfortably blow people to pieces if you find a 1v1. And Dardoch is always going to be moving up, clearing out the vision, and just hoping somebody does something stupid.
Yeah, this is really the next step that is kind of a more conservative approach. Yeah, you can try to randomly rush the Baron or whatever, but that is often how you lose the game, not win it. So I think that this is smart from Immortals. They're going to keep looking for picks. They're going to keep extending their vision and forcing TL to come into them. And with LeBlanc, with Elise, with Ash Arrows, there's so many forms of pick here that if you face check the wrong bush, even as a pretty tanky member, you can get taken out.
You know, despite not having double global or double teleport, Immortals are also doing a nice job just sitting 1-3-1 and shoving all the lanes. You can see Cody's son moves the mid lane back in. Flame is now top lane again, pushing up against Lolo, and Pobelta's consistently been first to a side lane and is pushing that out, opening that space back up for Immortals. So it does feel like Dardoch and Pobelta starting to play well together, and then the rest of the team are very aware of what they should be doing, especially when they're ahead, to make sure all the lanes are pushing and they keep taking objective after objective as Immortals to secure Ocean Drake #2.
Yeah, Immortals just had full vision control on that side of the map. There's not actually a single TL ward on this right side of the map if you look across, which is very problematic. I mean, not one ward. They have no vision control. How are they supposed to make a rotation to bot lane if that gets pushed up? You simply can't do it safely, and this really does show a lot of the problems that this team is having. They're losing so much vision. They're not fighting back as a team to get those wards back in, and you can't expect Matt to be able to do it by himself. No,
and the tough thing is, you know, again, that's a team thing. Warding is now a team because everyone is required to buy wards. You can't just stack wards on a single player like your support. And
Immortals pink wards, right? There's one on the map.
Yeah, it's the one right there that's not in the river that I think's about to get cleared out. Realm Wild top side though, looking for Pobelta. Good off from Lolo, flashing from Piglet, but it's a little early. And Pobelta able to distort out of the way. Ronover going to chase him, distorts his way back, but there's Piglet now on a killing spree as he takes down LeBlanc.
The whole team collapsing in there on Pobelta. They do get the kill. We'll see if they can get the turret. Flame's already in the bot lane shoving that up. So Immortals has their response underway. But at least, at worst, it's a trade for TL. And that is always good when you are behind. So they're making a proactive play. They're getting something done. We'll see if they lose 2 turrets. That would be a bit bad for them.
That's the response Immortals want here. Young Bin.
No, Young Bin.
That's a threat. They're going to go in 1v2.
Oh.
Easy blow-up. Doesn't even need the Protovel. The arrow sails by for Cody's son.
That is what a fed Elise can do to your poor Ezreal there, as Young Bin does find out.
By the way, Dardoch still has quite a lot of gold to spend. I've kind of been watching these Void Stuff components just sitting there for the last few minutes. He's got 1,600 gold now to spend. He's actually caught out here, but Lolo going to get caught by the rest of IMT. Ella here, finally in reserve, as Lolo going to get himself slowed down. Matt also in the front lines, but he does get the exhaust down. Slow down for the volley as Olay. Let's see ulti rip. Not enough on the Matt. He's going to be forced to flash out, though.
And both summoners are down there. Very close fight. No one actually goes down, but it's still Immortals' advantage. Next Drake will be the Infernal, and they're going to continue to try to control the dragons, control that stacking advantage that they do have. Immortals have been pushing the pace very well. They're still up quite a bit in gold. They're at the point in the game now, too, where you can control Baron Vision and actually take that down pretty quickly. And this is the pain that Elise can push out. If you can actually get that face check off, Dardoch will delete you.
Even need the extra proto belt damage. Pretty straightforward as he's now finished the Leandries, spending the gold that he had just weighing down his pockets. Important to note that TL actually got a tower up for nothing at the end of it. I mean, there was damage done for Immortals in mid tier 2 and bottom lane, but didn't take either of those. So TL will close the gold gap just a bit here, but Immortals again, happy to play a bit slower, knowing they're ahead and thinking that they should be able to take these turrets in pretty good time.
Well, one thing to note is Immortals does not really have a lot of QSSs. Generally, you see quite a few against a team with a Malzahar alone, and when you add the Rise and the Poppy and other sorts of CC in there, even someone as fed as Dardoch, if he gets Malzahar ulted, he is very squishy. He can go down in a hurry. So TL will be looking to make these sorts of picks happen, to make use of that Malzahar ult to get their advantage back.
Well, right now it just feels like Immortals are setting up shop around the Baron area. Flame doing his duty in the bottom lane, making sure that pushes up. And almost full control. Cheeky little ward from TL just to the left of the river, but that's about to time out. And Team Liquid know they need to do something here. Dardoch dashes out with the Proto Belt, just creates a bit of distance. Stun onto Lolo's going to land. Poke's going to follow through, but Lolo nice and tanky at this point, so not feeling too much pain just from Elise Poke.
Already, Flame has the main advantage. It's going in the favor of Immortals. Someone has to get back and answer that, or they'll lose the tier 2. And that means that TL has to go back off the map, and Immortals maintains vision control. They know they have a little bit of time until the Dragon's back up. They can wait a couple minutes for that, or they can start to get a little bit more aggressive and siege the tier 2s, but it feels like they want to pick up Dragon or Baron before they make that next step.
Well, again, just forcing TL to react to them means they're getting favorable positions in a lot of areas on the map. Probelta working on this side lane, excuse me, almost level 16. So feeling good about that upcoming rank 3 ultimate. And Piglet again, he's hanging out waiting for the wave to come to him, but that's kind of the story overall for Team Liquid. They really just have to wait for Immortals to make the play, and if they
happen.
Yeah, phase check a little too aggressively, this can happen. Pick off a 10th onto Matt, does get the chain down, massive damage, Arrow's gonna follow, and that's an easy kill for Cody-san.
Remember, Matt did not have his summoners because of the earlier bot side play around the boo buff, so that is the payoff for Immortals, but it's just a support. Not sure if they're gonna want to start up Baron off that. Would be very aggressive.
Well, Dardoch just going to hope someone else comes to check. TL can't check right now. Youngman's going to have to commit his trinket. Well, he does have it now. Team Liquid not too scared of a Baron attempt. I guess they can see most of Immortals, so...
Just compare the vision, though, in the red side jungle for TL. I mean, they can't see anything. They have 1 ward on this side of the map, 0 wards on the other side of the map. What is happening with TL's vision this game?
I think that's their only ward.
They have one ward on the map. 1 ward on the entire map. Have you ever seen that in a professional game before the start of the map? I don't even know, man.
Oh, that'll be a fun one. Let's get stats to try and track that down as the Rona, with the safety of their 1 control ward, does it recall back to base.
The 1 safe spot. Everyone huddle around the pink ward.
I mean, Drake up in 20 seconds. Immortal should have another easy objective pickup here, but you imagine the pace is going to start to be pushed just a little more. Immortals, no, they don't need to rush anything here. But at some point, TL, either they're going to have to make a risky play and hope it works out, or Immortals are just going to keep accruing advantages until TL just cannot hold the weight of it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, Immortals is playing kind of slowly, but this is okay when you're getting everything that you want. It's not okay for the losing team to just slowly bleed out. You need to kind of choose your moment and go for a play. It may be around this Infernal. There are options for TL. They can look for a fight, or they can threaten to rush Baron. I think that's what they're going to try to do. Rise into that Baron pit. They're going to try to rush this as a trade. We'll see if Immortals can respond. They
Immortals are already over. In fact, Ola's going to get there pretty quickly.
Fast, though.
Arrow hits onto Lolo's just going to try and get the ulti down. Dragon low. Can someone get it? No, if Fury never does manage to smite it down, but Piglet may be caught by Flame. Rest of them make over, but Pobelta's looking for the chase. Piglet does flash over the wall. That's going to reveal a few as Pobelta wants to chain down Piglet. Does land it in and out. Piglet forced to fight, cleanses out of the snare. And Team Liquid get away with that.
Yeah, great job from TL. They needed to make a play. They went for one of their options there. Very good usage of Piglet's Rise ultimate. Still, they're going to lose a turret. They lose the Dragon, but they get the Baron. And even just taking off the map would have been a win, but they keep all 5 members alive and may be able to actually get something done now.
Well, if nothing else, they buy themselves some time and get much needed gold in the trade. So Immortals still well and truly ahead of Team Liquid, but TL might even be able to make something proactive happen with the Baron buff. It's so much power when you get it.
They should at least get the mid lane turret that is very low, and Piglet's going to try to threaten the bot lane turret, try to close that gold lead, which would be very, very big for them. But they need to be careful to not overstep. Great, you got the Baron, but the other team is still much stronger than you right now, and you need to show respect to that.
See Ronover just taking what he can. Gonna look to get the Raptors for himself, as Cody-san and Ole are still standing strong here in the mid lane. The rest of the teams around. Pobelta actually bottom side answering Piglet. And Team Liquid know they, despite the Baron buff they got, still woefully behind. Chain lands on, but Pobelta doesn't want to commit with not too much vision. Does get good damage done with the passive, but Piglet is guiding the minions in, and Team Liquid get their 2nd turret of the game. And that's not great, but it's better than nothing. All Team Liquid need is just a bit of gold and a lot more time.
Yeah, they need a lot of time. I mean, especially when you're taking a glance at the AD carries, the amount by which Youngbin is behind is pretty astounding, but this is really nice from TL. The Rise ultimate allowed them to do this much more quickly than what Immortals was expecting. I don't think that this is a shocking play that they went for this. You know, I was kind of predicting that they might, but the fact they did it with the Rise ultimate meant they did it so quickly, they were able to get out. Because Immortals is saying, hey, if they go for Baron, we'll kill them all after, so it's fine. Instead, TL gets away with a good play. They keep their hopes alive.
Nice play there to make sure everyone gets out safely, as Team Liquid still not done on the offensive now, looking for the mid outer. Oh,
Young
no,
Bin.
that's onto Young Bin. Pobelter can't find the chain though. Cocoon lands on the Piglet, and that could be enough. Olay has enough damage. Gets two actually, including a shutdown on the Piglet. Young Bin goes down to Cody Sanzotto. Rainova flash leaps over the wall, but it's into the arms of Flame. And there's another snare and a double kill for Cody.
That is the risk. They get too overconfident. Yes, you can see Jess, you can get some advantages with the Baron, but they went too far up into the full squad of Immortals, and they're still down massively in gold. They pay the price, and the base is gonna get cracked open.
The price is mid inhibitor turret and likely the inhibitor as well. Could be Lolo for some collateral, but he's got a Guardian Angel and he's a big tanky puppy, so he'll be safe, but the rest of the base is just falling apart.
Yeah, and bot tier 2 goes down, so even more gold going their way. Immortals were kind of just gifted what they needed to probably close this game out.
And look, TL could have taken a turret safely. It wouldn't have catapulted them massively ahead in the game, but it would have at least extended the game. Instead, Youngbin eats an arrow and disaster strikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the problem that you have when he shifts, but he shifts a bit late, and he doesn't shift to the side or anything, so he's not going to dodge that anyway. And with no QSS on him, he gets tagged, he gets taken down, so a good catch there from Cody Sun.
Really nice stuff. Flame also in prime position to collect Rainova as he leapt over the walls, so maximum damage done there on the play from Immortals, and now they're almost 10,000 gold ahead. So Team Liquid, they've got an Elder Dragon, when that spawns in a few minutes, and have once again complete map control.
The really sad part about this is Olay is also an AD carry like Youngbin, and he has this pretty much the same amount of gold. So it's like the MF is, the support MF has as much gold as the AD carry on TL. That is just brutal. The amount of damage that's going to be coming out of Immortals is so huge. And without a consistent damage source like the Ezreal, how do you ever punch through the front line of Flame? This guy is going full tank. It's not even an Iceborne. It's a Frozen Heart, full on defensive. He knows his team has enough damage to close it out.
Pobelter actually going in for Lolo here. Does have a Leandrews and Avoid stuff, so Lolo's not that tanky. Does get a good slam in though. Might just get the 1v1 damage from the ultimate's good, but there's an arrow from Cody Sun to save the play. Lolo flashes forward and will get the kill, but now Dardoch finds Rainova. Olay lets loose again as Lolo's GA gets popped, but Rainova still chasing down Flame in the front line, trying to block up the rest of Team Liquid. Gets himself ultimate, but he's so tanky. The damage isn't there. Now
he's flashing in.
Flashes forward as Lolo tries to go back into the backline. Youngbin over the side trying to make a play, but he's going to get himself killed by Cody Sun, and Flame still not going down.
Yeah, they just do not have the damage to take out Flame. Youngbin tries to go aggressive and attack the backline, and he goes down in a hurry. So it was a nice initial play from Lorlo, but TL does not have enough. They're just too far behind to make a play like that work.
Yeah, and again, trading isn't bad for them, but all they really have to do is delay the game and not let it get any worse, because at this stage, Immortals should just be moving into position. If they want a major buff, they can take it. Elder Dragon in 40 seconds. Baron follows a minute after. It's Pobelter. This is quite an ambitious 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually Wing forward onto Lorlo when Lorlo has the buckler. He doesn't even break the passive shield there, so not really sure what Pobelter was trying to get done there. If anything, you kite around and you try to keep him there with the chains. You don't fully commit to that fight. He does give it up, but look at how little damage Flame takes here. Courage with Colossus flashes in the middle of everyone, so he has them all around, gets the maximum possible shield there. A nice little play, and then as Youngbin goes forward, he realizes he can't deal with Flame, so he tries to dive in, and just not going to happen. So much backline damage there still alive.
Yeah, just not enough. And now the Elder Dragon is ready to go. Immortals straight there on the spawn. And TL are going to have to challenge something here. They're in position to try and force a fight. But that Elder Dragon's actually dead.
Yeah, it's long gone, and all the dragon stacking is going to pay off for Immortals.
That's getting picked off. Nautilus Ultimate doesn't even see himself for a kill confirm. And now 5v4 Immortals with the Elder Dragon looking to just close this one out.
They certainly are. They have all the tools that they need. A 4-stack Elder that is 45 damage base plus 45 more for every single dragon. That is so much damage. 225 damage true burn coming out from every little hit.
Now Flame's going to prep this wave. The rest of the team's there. Cody Sun's going to move himself over, and Immortals will start a pretty difficult to defend siege. Looks like top lane might be in TL's favor. Hard to see from the minimap alone. But I don't think TL really, IMT really care that much, because they're going to try and end the game.
You can just force a fight now. I mean, TL is so far behind in gold, if they try to defend it at all, you just start fighting.
They're trying to defend it all. Realm Warp in. Rainova looking for a flank. Not a bad position, actually. As Flame still taking damage. Going to try and get the hook down. Finds Matt as the ultimate out. He's going to get another kill. And Flame's still there. GA's going to finally pop up. Rainova's got himself caught straight in the front side. GA's going to revive Flame. Pybelta dives back in for Lolo, and there's another kill. Ran over GA, gets himself killed as he revived. And that's the second inhib turret as IMT move in for the kill.
Rainover at least takes down Pobelter, but it's still 4 members pushing down here. That turret is going down so fast.
Dardoch looks for the play. Youngbin shifts his way up and didn't actually need to. Predictive attempt perhaps there from the Elise says TL hold on to their base for now, only losing one Nexus turret.
Yeah, it's enough to keep them alive, and that is pretty good for TL. They're still in the game at least, but Lorlo now moving forward.
Caught up by another good hook from Flame,
Oh, no.
and damage should be there. Cody-san dominating with 6 kills. And this inhibitor is just going to get retaken. What an awkward time to respawn. Immortals in perfect position to take that one.
Yeah, Lorlo just kind of wandered up there. They had walked out of the base, but I guess he thought they had fully recalled. They had not, and now Immortals can run straight over to the Baron. The wave is going to be crushing in bot side with supers, and TL is in kind of a bit of a lose-lose situation.
There's the Baron. I guess I might as well take that one on the way out. Don't see the exit Baron too often. The Immortals have more than enough time. Ezreal ultimate's going to give it a hello, but Immortals will take yet another objective.
Immortals fully in control and looking very good. This is a pretty strong team fight for TL. When you consider the fact they're down 10,000 gold and it's a 4-stack Elder, the fact that this is a pretty close fight showcases some of the strengths of their compositions, but it really just is not enough, and they are going to get bullied out. Every little instance of damage adds so much with those dragons that they're forced to retreat. They go down so fast. At least for TL, the game is not over. They can still have a hope of hanging on, but with Baron 2 inhibs down, it's a long shot.
Yeah, I mean, IMT just going to walk top here, all find a pick, and then look to end out the game. In fact, they might not even need the last inhib.
It's only one Nexus turret. They can just walk it down mid.
Just going to run it in right now. Lolo does get himself out with a good flash dash, but Flame finds Matt with the ultimate. Might be enough to kill him. Not quite, but Pobelta finishing the job off. Hook on a Piglet barely lands, but Flame doesn't quite make it through the Nexus. Youngbin trying to flank around the other side, but this next turret's going down. Dardoch lands to Kakuna, deletes him 1v4. Oh boy, it's rough. Piglet gonna get hooked up as well. Dardoch taking turrets, and the Nexus now exposed. Immortals with a huge advantage. Snowball the game completely in their favor, and they'll take down Team Liquid here in the first one.
Looks rough for TL. Piglet at least had a pretty solid debut in mid lane. But there are a lot of bot lane troubles here for TL, and Immortals just look to really outclass them.
I'm sad to say that the most neutral part of that whole game was our mid lane matchup. Piglet, he played fine, but he couldn't play spectacularly enough to try and one-man carry that game. Immortals just look too good together. Dardoch still just destroying people in every single matchup, and Immortals seem like as the season goes on, their team's just getting more and more synergy, and they're starting to play like a much cleaner looking unit.
I mean, Dardoch had significant advantages. The bot lane disadvantage was actually astounding for TL. I mean, 7,000 gold down on your AD carry, 5,000 gold down on your support. The opponent support is 2,000 gold up on your AD carry. That is almost unwinnable, right? Like this is so far behind that they almost don't even do anything in the fights, right? It's really tough. So Piglet actually, I think he performed really well to look okay in a game where your team is getting blasted.
Yep.
is pretty decent. Lorlo was actually holding his own there too, but definitely a lot of troubles in the bot side, and Dardoch just performing so well.
I mean, just so tough there. I mean, realistically, how much more are you going to get? I guess we'll find out soon. We are going to break down the IMT win by sending it back over to Riv and Jat.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And there we have our first game for Liquid with Piglet in mid. Actually fared quite well, as we heard. But once again, it seems the story continues that Liquid as a team can't come together as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We had so much focus on Piglet in the mid lane, and he actually did really well. But we kind of underestimated, I'd want to say. What about the other mid laner who hasn't even been in the LCS, now switching roles and trying to make his LCS debut with a support who also hasn't been doing well? Youngbin and Matt could absolutely blast it, but we do have kind of a fun graphic here, which is first LCS game for mid laners. And funny is that Piglet got to play against the same opponent as Golden Glue did. But like, as far as CS goes, Piglet had the best debut of any of these guys. So, and that was after up against your first Pick LeBlanc. So Piglet did well, but that
not actually too bad, especially with the fact that Rainover got 3-buffed by Dardoch in the beginning, who was actually playing quite well, and then was able to just kind of take control of the bot lane, who we also saw really wasn't CSing well. There was a lot of kind of mismatch under the turret. A lot of things weren't coming together fundamentally for them. Yep. And then the buys for Young Bin, as we heard Pastry say, kind of forced back with the amount of gold, and you recipe everything and come up with nothing.
That was just almost a display. We'll see if he can bounce back in game 2, but that was kind of a display of just the difference or the skill of all LCS bot lanes. Yeah. Because Cody Sun and Olay haven't been a top-tier bottom lane, but they absolutely decimated them. Yeah. They had a lot of help from Dardoch at the start of the game, but they took that advantage and they ran with it.
Yeah, let's actually hit that 5 and 50 seconds in. Dardoch's first 3 kill in the bot lane, and this is actually when Youngbin and Matt started to go forward with Reno.
Yeah, when a counter gank works. Because Cody Sun was going to be going down, but because Dardoch so quickly returned that, it made it a pretty easy double kill at the start, and then Matt had already pushed through because he was going for the kill onto Olay, so Dardoch was able to pick up a triple kill and then really shut down Reno of his jungle. But even within this play, Youngbin healed super early on in that play. They kind of get the chase for the early kill, and you can't do that because you need to be able to save your summoners for defensive purposes, and it just kind of made things go from bad to worse.
So Dardoch's Elise coming through, those early Moby boots getting him back down to the bot lane. We jump up to 32 minutes in. Things are looking great. Team Liquid gets Baron, and then Youngbin gets a little ahead of himself and the entire team.
And Team Liquid is already like 7,000 gold down, even with this Baron, but Youngbin was way on a different page than everyone else for Team Liquid. He saw the turret was at about 3 hits, so he tried to walk up.
You want it, chat. You want it.
You can't walk up against Elise and Ashe, especially when you have no QSS, no Cleanse, and no Mikhails on your team. And that just leads to absolute disaster. Any small chance the Team Liquid could have had from the Baron sneak, which was from a nice Realm Warp play that the team made, was just dashed right in that play.
And we already know coming into the game this week for Team Liquid that switching these positions, even though Piglet's been in for so long, and we see things happen with in the bot lane, he can do well on Twitch, somewhat transition. Going to a different lane, you have different calls to make, different information to give to other people, and then Youngbin has to insert that. So there's so much that these guys have to work with coming in that actually you can see is a glaring difference right now.
Teamwork's going to take a lot of time, and I like the point Azale made during that game when actually you can't solo carry on any role in League of Legends. If your team is actually doing that poorly and your AD is 7,000 gold behind, it don't matter if you're jungler or top lane or mid lane, you're not making up for that. So that's a negative thing that Team Liquid has to work on. And I do want to touch on Immortals just a little bit because this is a team that had and still has a lot of the same coordination problems that Team Liquid is dealing with right now. They've had games where Cody Sun and Olay has been way behind. They've had games where it seems like they just have no chance and they're getting out pressured in every lane. And they're able to give it back a little bit to Team Liquid right there. The map pressure they displayed the entire game, it just looked like they were on another
those wards
level
out there, which were quite lacking on Team Liquid's side.
Oh man, I want to know what those ward numbers were in that game because there was at one point where there was 1 ward on the map for Team Liquid. And right after that,
let you know.
Right after that, Piglet bought 3 control wards. He was like, I need to do everything, man, but it didn't work.
Instantly. And we say one person can't carry the game, it takes the team, but Dardoch, player of the game honors this time around, sure helped in the beginning on his Elise, getting the 3 kills, 3 buff as well. It's all about 3s for him here.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit more Elise around the world. Dardoch, in typical Dardoch style, just builds a whole bunch of damage, had that nice one-shot on Youngbin in the mid-game, on top of being able to get that triple kill early on in the game. So really set the tempo for Immortals and big part of the victory.
Oh, both teams are going to get a chance to talk. We'll see if Team Liquid can make the roster changes work in Game 2. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the North American LCS.
Piglet top next week.
Piglet top. And middle. And AD carry. And jungle at some point.
Damages through, Exhaust is great, but there's a good stun. First one though over, as that's a Trey kill for Dardoch. Rainover goes down and Dardoch's chasing Youngbin.
We're fighting top, I'm running top, I'm running. He's gonna go over.
Yo, he's flashing. No, his flash is still down,
Who's behind? Nice.
No.
I got TP,
Wait.
Behind TP.
Go, flash.
Ezreal's dead. Look for Kyle. Kyle flash, no jump. Okay, we can end. Push up it.